We're swiftly approaching the end of 2020 and 2021 is literally around the corner. So now's the time to really start thinking about things that we can leave behind in 2020 so that as we enter into the new year, we're not making the same money mistakes that we were making this year. I really want us in the new year to start thriving financially and really just step it up in terms of how we manage our money and our money matters. So in today's video, what I really want to do is share with you 12 things that I think that we should be leaving behind in 2020 and not carrying these things through to the new year. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, thanks for stopping by. My name's Tolu, and on this channel I share content all around personal finance, budgeting, frugal living, and I show you how to live your best life on a budget. So in today's video, what I really want to do is share with you 12 things that I think that we should be leaving behind in 2020 and not carrying these things through to the new year. One of the things that we really need to do is stop paying for subscriptions that we're no longer using. I've been guilty of this on so many occasions. It's actually embarrassing to say. There's been so many times where I've taken on a subscription and thought to myself, I'm going to cancel this thing as soon as the free offer finishes, and then I find myself 3 months down the line still paying for the subscription in which I'm no longer using, or if I am using, I'm not using it enough to warrant the price in which I'm paying for that subscription. So in the new year, there's no more of that. In 2021, we're only paying for subscriptions that we actually need and use. It's time to face your finances head on. No more burying your head in the sand. If you're in a sticky situation right now and your finances are not where you want them to be, now's the time to really start thinking and planning ahead for the new year so that you're not in the same position that you're in right now this time next year. It's time to lift your head up out of the sand, dust yourself off, and say to yourself, I'm going to transform my financial situation. I'm going to fix things and I'm going to make money moves in 2021. Don't do it by yourself. Get yourself an accountability partner. That is something I really want us to do in the new year. I really want us to have conversations about money, really be honest about our financial situations in the areas in which we need help. Let's have these conversations. Let's not try and do things in our own strength and by ourselves. Let's reach out to people. Let's connect. Let's help one another. If I have information, I'm going to share it with you. And likewise, if you have that information, share it with me too. Let's have conversations about money. Let's make it okay to talk about money so that we can all level up financially and we can all thrive with our money in 2021. I started to get the ball rolling in terms of having these conversations about money with my series that I was doing, Tea Money Talks. If you haven't watched that series, then you can check it out here. The whole playlist is there for the 12 episodes in which I had with some amazing guests talking about so many different topics and money conversations. And this is something I definitely want to continue in 2021. I think it's so important to have these conversations about money. Let's talk about money so that it's no longer a taboo subject and so that we can help each other thrive financially. In the new year, let's stop being ashamed of living within our means. It's okay to say no if it's not in your budget and you can't afford to do something. Let's make it okay. Let's make it acceptable. Let's make it the norm, in fact, to live within our means and spend money that's our own and not take things out on credit. The thing that really needs to remain in 2020 is allowing other people to deter you and derail you from reaching your own financial goals. Don't allow people to be your stumbling block. Don't allow them to get in the way of what you're trying to achieve financially. In the year 2021, we're going hard for our financial goals, and we're not going to allow anybody to stop us or get in the way of achieving what we set out to achieve. Now this one may be a little bit triggering and may make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm only saying it because I want the best for you, and that's let's leave behind Klarna, ClearPay, buying clothes on payment plans. Let's leave that behind in this year. We don't need to be doing that in 2021. Yes, I understand this year has been a struggle financially for so many people and so many of us, but what we don't need to do is dig ourselves into an even deeper hole. So let's find other ways to afford these items without taking on any unnecessary debt. There's actually nothing wrong with buying secondhand clothes if that's going to stop you from getting yourself into unnecessary debt. Buy things that are used and pre-loved. Save yourself a fortune and prevent yourself from committing to any unnecessary payment. So it's only a matter of time before I mention the B word, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Let's leave behind not having a budget in 2020. If you don't have a budget and you don't have a plan for your money, now's the time to get one in place in preparation for 2021. What we really want to be doing is telling our money where to go instead of being left at the end of the month wondering where all our money has gone. If you don't have a budget in place at the moment that you're using, then you can download my free budget planner via the link below, or you can even purchase a version of my 2021 budget planner here, which is currently available for sale on my website. Or if none of those are suitable for you, there's so many options out there for you to get a budget in place. There's so many different budgeting methods available that you can use to sort out your finances. But in 2021, there's no excuses. In 2020, we really want to leave that behind. We really want to make sure that moving into the new year that we have plans for our money and we have a budget budget in place. I don't know who needs to hear this, but no more paying parking fees and parking fines. This is something that needs to stay in 2020. I know sometimes you can be caught slipping and there can be things that happen and you're like, how did I get that ticket? But just doing a bit of due diligence, looking at the parking meters, looking at the restrictions, looking at the signs before you park, just to make sure that you're not getting yourself in trouble and getting yourself unnecessary parking fines and literally throwing money down the drain. Let 2020 be the last year that you pay unnecessary parking fines. Let's leave in 2020 late payment fees. Let's stop paying these late payment fees and giving all these different service providers our hard-earned cash. We want to make sure that we're paying our bills on time, and if we have issues with paying our bills, we're contacting these service providers beforehand. So going back to the point I made earlier, let's not bury our heads in the sand and ignore the situation. Let's face these situations head on so that we don't incur these unnecessary fines and fees, so that we don't end up having these negative impacts on our finances and also end up negatively impacting our credit score. Now this is something that we really need to leave in 2020, and this is doing it for the gram, aka doing things to impress other people, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to keep up with what everybody else is doing, trying to keep up with what's current, what's trending, what's relevant. Let's leave this behind in 2020. In 2021, we're not worrying about what other people are doing. We're staying focused on our own financial goals and where we're trying to get to financially. We're not trying to be distracted or derailed by what's happening around us. No, we're staying focused on reaching our financial destination. I don't know if this one is for you, but it's definitely for me, and this is undervaluing ourselves. We're leaving this in 2020. In 2021, we are charging what we're worth, we're being paid what we're worth, and we're not settling for anything less. This applies to all areas when it comes to our finances. So if you're currently in a role, you've been there for 2 years and your pay rise is only just about in line with inflation, and you know yourself, you're not being paid the market rate, you've done your research online, you've seen how much your counterparts are being paid in different organizations, and you're not getting the same amount, then it's time to speak up for yourself, speak to your employer and see if they will give you that pay rise that you deserve. Obviously, you can't be requesting a pay rise if you haven't even been doing the work that they're requesting of you. You need to obviously make sure that you deserve this pay rise in which you're requesting. But if you know you're going above and beyond the call of duty and you're just being underpaid and undervalued, then yeah, it's time to have that conversation. It's a difficult conversation to have, but it's a necessary one to have so that you can reach your financial goals a lot quicker. Veronia Spain, who's a fellow finance YouTuber, actually made an amazing video on this topic of getting a pay rise for her role. She was able to get a 17% pay rise by speaking to her employers and putting forward her case. So it's definitely something that is doable. I'll actually include a link to the video in my description box so that you can go and watch it after you've watched this. It just goes to show that employers have that money, they can pay you, but if you're not going to say anything and you're just keeping quiet and you're just accepting the status quo and accepting what they've given to you, they're not going to go out of their way to just give you extra money just because of it. If they don't have to, they're not going to. If you speak up for yourself and you know the value in which you bring to the table, then they're going to have no choice but to actually give you what you request. And likewise, if you're a business owner, you're a freelancer and you are charging well below what the market price is and well below what you know you're worth, then that needs to stay in 2020. Don't carry that into the new year. Know your worth, know your value, and request to be paid accordingly. One thing that 2020 has really proved and demonstrated to so many of us is that you cannot rely on one sole source of income. It's just a myth. In this day and age, job security is just null and void. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not something we can rely on wholeheartedly. So what we really need to do is leave that in 2020. That whole mindset and belief that, you know, I've got a job, I'm cool, I'm fine, and that's it. No, we need to make sure that in 2021 we're thinking of other ways that we can diversify our income streams. So we're not just reliant on one income, we're not just reliant on one employer, because should the worst happen, we need to make sure that we have money coming in from something else. So definitely leave that in 2020. In the new year, we want to make sure that we're building multiple streams of income, whether that's side hustling, whether that's getting a second job, whether that's selling your own products, whatever it is, whatever you can do, a skill that you currently have that you can monetize. Let's make sure that this is something we take into 2021. Repeat after me. 2020 will be the last year that I live paycheck to paycheck. If that is you, I hope you said this and I hope you truly believe it, because I really believe it for you. I believe that in the new year, you can break that paycheck to paycheck cycle. You can start living below your means and start building your savings, start building your emergency fund, and start building a nest egg for yourself and for your family. These are just 12 of the things that I think we should leave behind in 2020 so that in 2021, we can really start thriving and excelling when it comes to our finances. Let me know in the comment section below if any of these 12 things are things that you're prepared to let go of in 2020. 2020, and let me know if there's any other things that you can think of that we need to stop doing in 2022. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you enjoyed this video, then please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. Share this video with a friend or family member, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.